fourth key part of aesthetics is communitas. And this isn't St. Thomas Aquinas. This actually came from returning to a Latin word by anthropologist Victor Turner, who studied ritual. And he talked about communitas, the spirit of community, which is an essential element of the ritual experience. When people come together in ritual, or for instance right here, right now, we're all sort of in a liminal identity. What kind of identity do we have right now that we're sharing? Anybody want to?
Design Renaissance.
Yeah, we're sharing the liminal. We're all design Renaissance people right now. For this day, we will be that, and we will make leaps together, and we will have experiences together that are directly related to this concept. And there is, in ritual behavior, a mark of the sacred, this feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself, a togetherness that might even be closer than that, allowed under normal conditions, a unity consciousness, a connective intelligence. So we're transformed in some way. When we leave, we are transformed, and it certainly happens in ritual a lot, but I think that it also happens when we come together as stewards and we talk about the big issues. So communitas, here's a few examples of communitas, and it's reflected in crowdsourcing information. You know, Google Earth crowdsources all the time. A year of OpenStreetMap edits on the upper right, where you can see OpenStreetMap is the largest global map of the world, and every different part of it is constructed by the community that lives there. They go out with their GPSs and they map their area, or they upload their maps and their historical maps. And this has been growing exponentially in the last 4 years. Also word clouds, tag clouds, combined with processing, which Ben Fry made open source, gives an aesthetics that you can create a cloud of words and relationships. And here's a Obama Twitter word map in the shape of Obama, or last year, Earth Day. What people were saying about Earth Day and Earth in the shape of an Earth. Also, avatars. Now, I'm not going to talk very much at all about virtual worlds, but we could track our avatars back in the early days, because it was almost like they had their little GPS units on them, and then we could map. And this is an incredible map that Kati Berner did of one of our yearly international avatar conferences in cyberspace that were part of Bruce Damer's avatars every year, and I did the VLearn every year in the educational universe, and it tracks it through 6 hours of time. Where were the breakout sessions? How many were going where? If we were to track ourselves, our map might look like that. A lot of Twitter maps. Now we can retroactively geocode, and we can start to see our conversation paths in a locative way. So that's kind of a locative perspective of where we are. Another recent map that was done by Sarah Williams in Milan is cell phones for urban analysis. So think about that information harvesting aspect. Everyone with a cell phone, everyone with a GPS is bringing tracks of information in. And this, in particular, was tracking how people are using the public urban transportation system. Where were they going at what times of day? How can we use that as a planning tool, these heat maps as a planning tool? That is a kind of a communitas. We can see this mirror of community activity. So all of these kinds of visualizations are called the connective part of collective intelligence. These visualization tools and methods enable us to see our shared constructions of knowledge, and also how we move around in space and time. The sociosphere, again. Transparency, egalitarianism, open access to information and tools, curation, mentorship, and synthetic perspectives are all part and parcel of the connective part of collective intelligence. The other thing that enables us to do this is open source tools. Jeffrey Hare at the HCI Lab, Human Computer Interface Lab at Stanford University, has been creating amazing tools for collaborative visualization. They're all open source, and they're being developed by students, and along with Ben Fry's processing, the visualizations are becoming easier and easier to do and more beautiful. Now, all of us know that we can make a friend map of our Facebook. But back when Friendster was the first social network, he was creating Visitor, which enabled you to look at your friends. But mappers and the social media that we use is also capturing our feelings, capturing the global heart, capturing the dynamical systems of connective emotional intelligence. Jonathan Harris and Sepp Kamfar have been visualizing the connective heart for over 5 years. In one of the projects called We Feel Fine, they explored the collective feelings by data mining web logs for emotional statements, and then they would turn that into visualizations. And that in turn influenced a couple students to create a twist story tool that you can use on Twitter, where you can actually go up onto it and see this emotional intelligence coming out around the world. And that will change. You know, if something big happens, like if 9/11 happened now, you would really get a big dose of a visualization showing the powerful impact it had on so many people. So I call this the 6 degrees of connective intelligence. Human stories become real-time conversations documented on the social web, linking humans into complex conversational and activist networks that leave information trails and data tracks we can turn into maps, artworks, and dynamic visualizations that we can then draw from to synthesize new information and to tell bigger stories about who we are. That is the way that we'll gain and share a new level of wisdom, this higher order level of thinking that we're able to do merely by the fact that we are sharing open information and we're able to see what it looks like. So we are visualizing, and we have been for 10 years, we've been visualizing connectivity, internet, knowledge, and people. Over here we see the topology of M-bone. Back in 1996, Tamara Munzner at Stanford University was visualizing the earliest video networks. Kata's walrus was showing internet, the structure of the internet and the connections. Really, biological metaphors accidentally pop up when we're trying to understand what these things look like. The blogosphere. It looks like some kind of undersea creature. The tree of life, which we'll get back to later, that gives us a completely different picture of where we fit in the tree of life. I just have a little Facebook map that anybody can do. I don't use Facebook a lot, but you can see how all of your people you're connected to are connected to each other. Start to see your communities differently. And then down here we can see these biological metaphors and these wonderful, very different kinds of visualizations are enabling us to, again, see the sociosphere. So why visualization? This expanding database of human knowledge and digital earth data. We're generating new pattern languages. We can see the synthetic whole. We can cross-fertilize between the parts. We have a different way of getting that feedback that we need, not only of shared knowledge, but of our own place in this knowledge, this sociosphere, if we think about stewardship, we want to be able to see the impact that 10 of us will make if we make certain choices when we walk out that door tomorrow. And these visualizations these are some of the visualization technologies that enable us to do it.